welcome to the Family Law section of the Florida Bar's Family LawCast. My name is Amber Kornreich, and I am honored to introduce today's featured guest, Robert Merlin, on collaboration and lessons learned. Bob Merlin is a board-certified marital and family lawyer in Coral Gables, Florida. He's been recognized for his work in advancing the collaborative process with the Collaborative Family Law Institute Stu Webb Distinguished Service Award in 2012, as for his work as a guardian ad litem with the Ray Pearson Guardian ad litem Award by the 11th Judicial Circuit, and with numerous other accolades and awards for his dedication to family law. He has held prestigious leadership roles, including as a former president of the Florida Academy of Collaborative Professionals and the Florida chapter of the AFCC, and he is an educator, published author, and a mentor to many lawyers and law students in his role as an adjunct professor of collaborative law at the University of Florida, Levin College of Law. Bob has practiced for over 4 decades, and he is known to be a super diligent lawyer, teacher, role model, and mentor. We are so pleased to have him here today. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Amber. I want to meet this guy.
It's you, and it's all true. So, Bob, why is it important for young lawyers to participate in the ADR committee and the family law section?
I'll tell you personally that I have gotten a huge amount from my participation in the family law section, and I happen to be passionate about the ADR committee of the section. I believe attorneys have an obligation to be a peacemaker and to promote the resolution of disputes. In fact, I want to read to you a quote from Abraham Lincoln. So this is obviously it's a very old quote. And this is about lawyers. Discourage litigation. Persuade your neighbors to compromise whenever you can. Point out to them how the nominal winner is often a real loser in fees, expenses, and waste of time. As a peacemaker, the lawyer has a superior opportunity of being a good man. There will still be business enough. And I strongly believe in that. And there are many people in the family law section who are passionate about this as well. You can be an attorney and just focus on doing your work and working for a client and going back and forth between your office and your home, or you can really carry the mantle for lawyers who have more education than 99 point whatever the percentage is of the world. And we have the ability to make life better. One of the ways to do that is to be involved in the family law section, to help the section create or amend rules, processes, forms, educate family attorneys. The certification review course is huge, and more than 1,500 people attend that program every year. And by being involved in the ADR section, we're able to spread the word about encouraging attorneys to be trained and educated in helping their clients resolve disputes rather than only focusing on going to court, doing battle, and empowering a judge to decide what the future is going to be for the family. I just philosophically, I don't believe in that. I think it's an unnecessary process, and it's much more efficient, private, and personally oriented for the couple to control their own destiny and the destiny of their children.
Thank you so much, Bob. And so, you're well known for being one of the earliest participants in collaborative law and one of the keepers of the flame of the collaborative movement. What was your motivation to promote collaboration?
That's actually a deep philosophical question. I used to be a very, very aggressive attorney. I started off in commercial litigation. I did all sorts of other things other than litigation. And I eventually had one divorce. I handled it. I thought it was interesting. But somewhere deep in my mind, after all of the family litigation and the trials and hearings and depositions, I knew there had to be a better way to represent clients and to give them an opportunity to choose how their divorce was going to take place. I heard about this program when it first came to Florida it came to Florida in around 2001, 2002. I attended a training that was 3 hours long, and I thought, wow, I can do this. It makes so much sense. And I didn't know how much I didn't know. And now trainings are 2 days long, and there's no such thing as a training for 3 hours. That's just scratching the surface. And I guess what I learned resonated with my personality. It made more sense to me to focus on resolution rather than public dispute and empowering a stranger to decide what the future would be for my client's spouse, and their children. And the more I learned about the collaborative process, the more interesting it was to me, the more it aligned with my philosophy. And intellectually, there was so much more to learn than what a typical family attorney has in their toolbox and their educational background. And so that also led to me getting involved with the Florida chapter of the Association of Family and Conciliation Courts, which in its name talks about not just family courts, but creating systems to help families resolve their differences. And this is an international program. Courts all over the world are trying to streamline the divorce process and the judicial systems generally. And if you're an experienced litigator, you know that there are defects in the system, and it can be very difficult to get into court, which means a resolution is delayed for our clients.
So, we've discussed many benefits of participating in the family law section and other organizations, and one of those is mentorship. How has mentorship shaped your experience as a leader and as a lawyer?
I was mentored, and I really appreciate being mentored. I didn't know anything about statewide organizations. I wasn't involved in statewide organizations. A former judge in Miami, Judith Krieger, a phenomenal, passionate family judge, told me about this group of people that was going to get together and talk about creating an organization in Florida. And so I went to the organizational meeting for the Florida chapter of the Association of Family and Conciliation Courts. And I met people from around the state who were unbelievable professionals, mental health professionals, attorneys, judges, magistrates, part of management of the courts. And all of these people and systems worked together to create better processes for the families and to help the family court system work better. And Florida has been a model for the rest of the country. And that's because there are a lot of passionate people who have wanted to help the system and help Florida's families. And that was a great opportunity for me because I have a history of giving and doing for others. And so it resonated with me, and I got to meet phenomenal people and be on a first name basis with judges from throughout the state. I never would have expected to be in that position. And so I'm very grateful, and I'm glad I made those decisions, chose which roads to take. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. And so it's open for everybody to just put out the effort, get involved, and good things will happen. Not to mention, which is very important, you'll have great relationships with people in other parts of the state. From a selfish perspective, you might wind up getting a referral of business, but just to have those relations relationships is worth the effort.
Thank you so much for being so candid and sharing your journey. As a final question, you're an educator, you're a teacher. What advice would you give to a young family lawyer?
Don't just be focused on representing a client, and definitely don't just be focused on generating income. Yes, everybody comes to this position having different financial needs, but if you set higher philosophical goals, your life is going to be happier. You're going to be much more successful. You will be respected, and that respect brings the good things that most attorneys and people want. And it can be very difficult for a young attorney to choose to not be home because they're going to a meeting, or to choose to go to the certification review course, which is all day Friday and half a day on Saturday. You're out of town unless you're living up in Orlando or near it. But it's worth the effort. And if you put out that effort, it's going to pay off. And one of the things that has impressed me about the family law section is that the doors are open, and the leaders of the section welcome new people to come in, especially young attorneys. And don't be afraid to go to a meeting and not know someone. Introduce yourself. Sit down and share a meal with someone you meet. Share a drink with someone you meet. It will work out. I think it'll be beneficial for everybody involved, and I've enjoyed it. And Amber, I think you really have as well, and your father. I think it's a great thing to do, and I urge you to do it.
Well, thank you so much, Bob, for your leadership, for paving the way for so many, and for being here today. This was a really great conversation. Thank you so much.
I view it as an honor, Amber, and I've told you I have a lot of respect for you and your family, and you and your parents have given a huge amount of yourselves to the family law system and to the community. You're perfect examples of what someone can do. All you had to do was make the decision to do it, and look where you are.
Thank you so much. Well, looking forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you.
Take care. Good to see you.